Hello, my name is John Lord, and I'd like to welcome you to Accounting 58 Auditing course. I'll be your instructor, and I wanted to put together this welcome video to give you a tour of how the course is going to be set up, talk about a few key items on the syllabus, talk a little bit about the textbook, and just give you some general guidance as you go through the course. I wanted to give a little bit about my background. I was an auditor with the federal government for 26 years, an agency called the Government Accountability Office. GAO is the auditing investigative arm of Congress. And I retired from that about, I guess, going on maybe 10 years ago or so. Since then, I've been teaching exclusively. I'm teaching, obviously, at De Anza. I also teach at Golden Gate University, and I also in San Francisco, and I also teach at Stanford, teaching accounting, auditing at various levels. I spent about 10 years working for the state of California, teaching for San Francisco State, San Jose State, and also UC Berkeley. So just a little bit about my background, including part of the teaching that I was doing while I was working for the federal government was preparing folks for the CPA exam. If you have questions about the CPA exam, about requirements and whatnot, please feel free to reach out, send me a text or email. You can visit me in my office hour. I can pretty much help you to figure out that process. I've been helping a lot of people prepare for all aspects of the exam. As I'm probably about 30 years I've been doing that. So I want to go ahead and look at the, well, let me start with Canvas. And if you're seeing this video, you found yourself here, and the video is going to be posted here. You can see the guest speaker information. That will be submitted here. You'll click on this, and that's where you will submit the requirements for the guest speaker, which you see in this rubric paper guidance. It's going to be a 3-page paper, and I give you some instruction on the fonts and whatnot, just so that sometimes folks will just use huge fonts so they don't have to write as much. So that's why that's there. I'm not measuring the font and taking off points if it's not perfect, but keeping close to those guidelines. There's a set of slides that go along with the video. So that's there for you. You can, that's not due. I'm going to put up, so you can see till the end of the course, December 15th, but you can submit that at any point, any time, and it's worth 100 points. You can see the office hour link here. The syllabus is here. Maybe you've already looked at that. And then I'm going to go through that with you here in a couple seconds, but then there are some practice midterms that I'll put up to help you prepare for midterms. And then there are the chapter slides. This is a worksheet for figuring out CPA requirements. There's a set of slides for each chapter. And then there's also the lectures, okay? And each lecture has a video. Each chapter has a lectured video that goes with it. Sometimes it can get a little bit confusing in that the chapter 2 lecture part 1, and then I recorded these from previous lectures. You know, maybe I didn't finish all of chapter 1. And so the completion, or say chapter 2 here, and then the completion of chapter 2 is down here, and the start of chapter 3. And then sometimes, you know, you'll see, okay, here's the rest of the chapter 3 lecture, or I guess maybe this one ends, maybe part 1, there's only part 1 maybe. But you can see that sometimes there's a flow down to the next chapter. So if you say, hey, what happened to the rest of that chapter? Often you'll see it in that next module, okay? And that's pretty much the way the class is set up. And then your exams will be right here, okay? And you can't see them yet because I don't open them until the date that we're going to be having the exam, but you do it right here in Canvas. The exams are open book, open note, anything that I have assigned for this course is you can look at it during the exam, the slides. If you decide to acquire the textbook, anything you've got from there, all of that is open, but I don't want you working. It's not a team project. You got to do your own work. And I don't want you, going out to the internet and trying to acquire the answers to the test or something like that. But things that I have given you are fair game for the exam. You can take them, and I'll explain exactly how that's going to work. Well, you can see the first midterm is not available to October 21st at 12 a.m. That's 12 a.m. midnight, right? It opens at that time, and it stays open for the entire week. So it opens on Monday, and then it closes at 11:59 on Sunday, the 27th. Okay. And so you can work it, and I give you 3 hours. So I have a 3 hour window of time that you can work that exam. You pick the 3 hours within that week-long period. I don't advise that you wait until 9 o'clock at night on October 27th, because things happen that we don't plan for if you wait to the last minute. So make sure that you set aside 3 hours during that week, and that's how the second midterm will work, and the final will work that way. And the final is not cumulative, and I'm going to show you what chapter is going to be covered on the final here in a couple seconds when we look at the syllabus. So that's the way the exams work. They are going to be 20 multiple choice questions that are worth 4 points each for a total of 80 points. And then I'll have one sort of objective format, probably some matching, that kind of thing. That will be worth 20 points. And usually I have 4 or 5 things that I want you to respond to, tasks that you need to respond to, and you can get partial credit. I'll probably have those worth 5 points each, but it's not a multiple choice question. There's tasks that you have to perform in those various things. And I'll show you when you look at the videos, you'll see I'll give you examples of how I'm going to test you. And you'll see that in the video discussions. Excuse me. Now you come over and just taking a look here at the textbook information or the syllabus. Let's just look at that. Okay, and you can see my contact information is there. The link, I have the Zoom link. I am on campus at De Anza Monday, Wednesdays. My class there, I'm teaching 1B, and it starts at 12:30, and I'm getting that class out maybe around 2 o'clock. So if it's in L84, or is it L81? I'll look it up and I'll correct that by the end of this video, but it's one of those 2 rooms. They're kind of across from each other. And so if you want to send me a text or an email ahead of time, letting me know that you'd like to meet in person, I can do that too on Monday, Wednesdays around 2 o'clock. So maybe rather than me look up the class number, send me a text or an email if you want to meet in person. I can do that on Mondays and Wednesdays. You can see the textbook. It is optional. You don't have to get it. You follow this link. Okay, you must follow this link. Don't go directly to McGraw-Hill to get the information, because if you do, you won't see the homework questions that I put up there. Now, when I mention homework questions, I don't give credit for homework. Since the textbook is optional, I don't give credit for homework. Your grade is really going to be primarily, primarily is going to come from the exams. Okay, 75% of the grade from the 3 exams, 100 points for each exam, midterm 1, midterm 2, and the final. And then the guest speaker is the remaining 25%. Now, you come over and you can see the grades, and most of my students really are up here. What hurts students, they don't do well, is if they don't take the exam. I don't know why that happens. I have the exam dates, and I have them in red on the syllabus. I'm going to show you those. We already looked at the dates, but I'm going to show you where they're called out on the syllabus. You must take the exam during that time. I'm not going to allow makeup exams. I get students say they forgot to take the exam. That part, I'm think I'm a pretty fair, teacher for you. But if you miss the exam, that's not going to be good. Okay, so make sure, and you can look at some of these other things here, but make sure that you see the exam opens. That's a Monday, October 21st, and it'll stay open that entire week, and it'll be in Canvas as we saw. Okay, and it stays open that entire week, October 21st to the 27th, and it closes at 11:59 p.m. Again, I'd say maybe take the exam the latest on the Saturday, just so that you don't run into any problems. Okay, but you can pick a 3-hour window within that week time frame, and then midterm 2 will work the same, and then the final, which is not cumulative, you just see those 3 chapters, will work the same way. Okay, so you've got to take the exams during that week-long period when they're the applicable weeks here. You have to take them during that time. Okay, so that's pretty much. Oh, let me show you again where when you follow this link. Okay, you will be asked to register for the course and whatnot. There's a 2-week trial period. So my recommendation is you take advantage of that 2-week trial period. And if you think the material in the textbook is helpful, then they'll ask you to provide your credit card information, and you can purchase the book and purchase the McGraw-Hill Connect. And then you'll have that, for throughout the course here. So I want to just show you what that's going to look like. Okay, there's the homework questions. I don't give credit for homework. And I also have some practice midterms in there. So some of my students find this useful, and they go ahead and they just acquire the textbook. Other students say, hey, I think I can do fine without it. And so they don't acquire the book, and they still do well in the class. Okay, so that's the process. If you have questions, feel free to call me or text me. Sometimes students will text me and they'll say, this is your student, when's the exam? What student? I teach at 3 different universities, at Golden Gate, at Stanford, at De Anza. Oh, this is your student. I have more than one class. This is your De Anza student. I have a couple of classes at De Anza. So if you text me or something, give me, this is so-and-so from your Accounting 58 auditing class. Can you help me to figure out what the requirements are for the CPA exam? Let's set a time, whatever. Okay, so make it clear what you're asking me about, and where you're from, that kind of stuff. Don't text me and say when's the exam, because it's right there on the syllabus. But if you have quick questions and whatnot, you can text me. Sometimes students will text me and I'll say, hey, call me, because the conversation would be much more efficient than sitting here and typing in a page long worth of text. Okay, all right, so that's pretty much everything. I'm looking forward to working with you, and have a good quarter here. Okay.